Going on, everyone? So Dallas might already be in trouble. Now, I understand it's preseason, so I want to say this first. And Kyrie sat out with a growing injury, and he has a strained left groin. And again, preseason precautionary doesn't count towards wins and losses. You don't want to overexert him. You don't want to overwork him. But here's the problem: Dallas this season, I don't think did a great job of putting a roster together. I understood going and getting Kyrie Irving, right? I made the same argument for the Phoenix Suns. You go get Kevin Durant now, maybe a win. More likely than not, you're probably not because lack chemistry. You gave up all your depth, your defense, things like that to go get him. But it's about, okay, we got Devin Booker, we got Kevin Durant. Let's put the rest of the roster around them and make it work. And I thought the Phoenix Suns actually did a good job given the circumstances. I didn't really like the Bradley Beal trade, but that's neither here nor there. Cool, you upgraded Chris Paul for Bradley Beal. If it works, you probably win the NBA championship. But I'm talking about the other guys, all the other depth. I thought they did a good job of kind of piecing that roster together. I still have my absolute concerns with the Phoenix Suns, defensively, depth-wise, playmaking-wise, all that stuff. But still, I thought, given the circumstances, they did a really good job. Dallas, very similar. Go trade for Kyrie. You trade away all your defense. You trade away your depth. And it's like, okay, but now we have Kyrie and Luka. And we just need to kind of round out and fill out this roster the rest of the way. And I don't think they did a good job with that. Grant Williams, cool. But I don't think he really is a guy that's changing the tides for the Dallas Mavericks. I think Dallas is small. I think they're going to be relying heavily on Derek Lively, who he may or may not be a very solid player this season. I think defensively he'll be fine, like blocking shots and stuff like that. But he's a rookie. How much are you really relying and heavily putting on him? Seth Curry gives you a solid shooter, cool. Jaden Hardy, he looks like he's ready to take that next step and be a real solid piece and contributor. But they don't really have, who's your centers? You have Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. Cool. I don't think that's getting you anywhere. But you have Kyrie Irving and you have Luka. Those two guys alone should be good enough to get you to, 6th seed, maybe the 5th seed, something like that. Right? Kyrie is an absolute wizard and magician. Luka magic. I mean, these two are ridiculous. And that's kind of like your sell. Okay, we got these two guys. We can ride into the sunset with these two guys. The problem is that's basically it. And if you lose either of these two guys, kiss your season goodbye. I even think with those two guys, I still think Dallas is at best a play-in team. I wouldn't be surprised at all this season if Dallas misses the playoffs entirely. I wouldn't. I don't think that'll happen. But if you had a time machine and you could jump into that time machine and come back and say, hey, crazy, Dallas, yeah, they finished as the 11th seed. I wouldn't be shocked. Right? Again, you have the Nuggets, the Kings, the Suns, the Lakers, right? That's 4 teams that I think are guaranteed to be better than the Dallas Mavericks this year. Memphis Grizzlies, I would put up there, but I want to see what happens with Ja Morant. How does this team look without him for the first 25 games? And then even when Ja does come back, how does that team manage when he's trying to figure things out? Right? But I still think if Ja kind of gets back into the swing of things, I think Grizzlies are better than them. There's 5 teams. So that means at best, Mavericks are the 6th. That's not counting the Clippers. That's not counting the Warriors. That's not counting the Timberwolves. That's not counting the Pelicans, which if the Timberwolves and the Pelicans are healthy, they could be very good. The Pelicans were the best team in the league for a good stretch before everyone started falling apart and getting hurt. The Timberwolves, can they kind of actually put together Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards takes the next step? Right? Luka and Kyrie are an amazing duo, but can they work? We don't even know for sure if they can work and how well it's going to work. They could be super clunky. Luka is one of the most ball dominant players we've ever seen. One of the highest usage players we've ever seen. Right? Like the idea of like, hey, this doesn't work and Dallas is the 11 seed, I don't think is that far-fetched. Dallas isn't going to be very good defensively again this year. They might be better than they were last year, but that's not really raising the bar. Dallas wasn't this like great defensive team. And they are literally a Luka or Kyrie. Not even, I don't wish injury. I don't want injuries. I always say, I want everyone to be 100% healthy because then whoever wins is clearly the best team. But Dallas is even a little knick-knack injury away from just their season being done, which is playing with fire, right? Like, if Luka misses, like, let's say he gets, high ankle sprain or something, where it's like, all right, he's got to miss a couple weeks. I think Dallas might be done. I think that might be it for them. Pack it up. It was nice knowing you. Or even Kyrie. I mean, and even like last year, Dallas was better with Kyrie on the court without Luka than they were with Luka without Kyrie at post the trade. Now again, chemistry, they gotta learn each other, they gotta fill each other out, all that jazz. I get it. But I expected more from Dallas as far as like roster building and roster piecing. I don't think that I don't really understand the Grant Williams trade. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't think like that was the move. That was the thing that you needed to do, right? Like, that was the piece. Like going and getting like Rashard Holmes and stuff like that. Like, cool, right? Like, I thought, you did a good job of getting him for peanuts stuff, but I don't know what the direction is for Dallas. I don't know what is the plan here. What are we trying to put together here? And look, I'm not a Dallas fan. Like, I don't have skin in the game. Like, I could care less either way. But it's just, I'm a basketball guy. I am a fan of the game of basketball. I want good competition. I want, every team in the league to be good because that's just going to give us better basketball, right? That's going to give us more exciting games, right? Like, I want to see Luka and Kyrie do well together, right? Like, I want to see how does that duo look, right? Kyrie played with LeBron James. He's familiar being the second guy. He can play that role seamlessly. But will Luka make those adjustments and those changes to defer to Kyrie at times? Because LeBron was willing to defer to Kyrie at times. He would let Kyrie shine and let him do his thing. Is Luka going to be willing to do that? Or is Luka, when he's on the court, say, no, this is my team. This is how I've played my entire career. I'm not going to, like, now just basically just, here's the ball, Kyrie, go to town. Like, no, like, you fall in line like everyone else. And it's not a good sign that Kyrie's already experiencing groin injuries when, that could be something that persists all season. And if he misses, a month of the season, I'm not saying all at once, but even just a month of the season period, right? Like, they're going to need Luka and Kyrie to play probably 65 to 70 games this year, in my opinion. And I understand, and I've said constantly, like, I don't think you make moves and you should operate on the assumption of injuries, right? Because you can't account for that stuff. But Dallas, in my opinion, doesn't have great depth. They don't have this great roster. They're not the super well-rounded team. They're not a team that can rely on their defense. They have Luka and Kyrie, and Kyrie's dealing with a nagging injury that could persist all season. Luka, he had a little injury and FIBA and stuff. It's not a good way to start. And I'm already not super sold on Dallas, with or without any injuries or anything like that. And then you add this to the pot, and it's just like the stew is bad. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas just completely implodes this year and Dallas is looking to trade Kyrie at the trade deadline. Because if it's not working for Dallas, what do you do? Are you going to keep Kyrie and try again next year? Right? I mean, you can, but if they are still clunky and it's not working, like how many years are you going to give this experiment a shot? How many years are you going to give this look? Problem is Dallas, would Dallas even be able to trade Kyrie? Something else, right? Because the Lakers, that seemed like the one destination, but the Lakers, they don't really have as big of a need for him as they once did. They may be willing to give up something for him, but you're not going to get this like ideal package. You're not going to get some like crazy trade or anything like that. I could see Dallas just being completely stuck and being this just underwhelming, underperforming team that is fighting just to make the play in. Kyrie and Luka are just overexerting themselves to do too much just to get smacked in the first round of the playoffs or in the play-in game, and that's it, and you're going home. Like, I'm just not sold on Dallas. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. How do you feel? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you feel like, Kyrie and, if he's dealing with these nagging injuries, that could be a real problem? Do you like the moves Dallas made? Do you not? How do you feel? Let me know down in the comments.